Okay, so let's start. So we were discussing about asymptotic notations in last class. So whenever we analyze the algorithm, so I have already told you that we are analyzing algorithm only on the basis of input size. So when we analyze the algorithm only on the basis of input size, so we analyze basically the time complexity and the space complexity of a particular algorithm. So what happens basically, so for any problem in computer science, we write a program, okay, in any language. Suppose we are writing programming in Python, for example. So it's always good, like before writing the program, we should have an informal description of that program. So this informal description of the program in English-like language, this is only called the algorithm that we have studied. Okay. So in general, if we have a particular problem given, so there can be many solutions. Each of the solutions will call one algorithm. So one solution is A1, other is A2, then we have A3, then we have A4, and so many for a particular program. So what we need is that among these solutions, which solution is best in terms of time and space. Which solution is best in terms of time complexity and space complexity. So you are given a particular problem, you have a large number of solutions for that, and among these solutions, what we are going to see, we are going to see which solution is best in terms of time and space. So how do we analyze this time and space complexity? Because we use asymptotic notations. So first of all, we have to understand what is a asymptotic notation. Asymptotic notations we have already seen. Asymptotic notations are special notations that are used to describe the asymptotic running time of an algorithm. That is running time in terms of input size. And I have already discussed there are 5 different notations. We have big O, we have big omega, we have theta notation, we have a small notation, we have a small omega notations. Okay. So we'll discuss one by one each of these. So we are starting with big O. Okay. Right. So draw this figure first, then we'll discuss. So now, what is Fn and what is Gn? So Fn is a function in terms of input size. This is the actual running time of the algorithm. So how do we see Fn? So suppose we have have you drawn this figure, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is input. Here it is input. Okay. So what is Fn now? So Fn is, suppose we have an algorithm like Okay. Suppose this algorithm here. So int I is equal to 1, for I is equal to 1 to n, we print PSIT. Okay. And this. So if I calculate total number of steps which are executed here, so this particular step will take 1, this will take 1, this will take n, this will take n plus 1 basically, this will execute n time, this will execute 1 time. So if you calculate it, it will be 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So it will be 2n plus 4. This is called Fn. Okay. So this is okay. Here I am writing. So Fn is equal to total number of steps that are executed. Fine. So Fn is equal to 2n plus 4. So how do we got it? It's obvious that this step is going to execute only one. When compiler will execute the program, this statement will be executed only one time. This statement will again be executed only one time. This loop is running from equal to 1 to n. So it will be executed n plus 1 time. Why n plus 1 time? First it will run for n time, and then again one time it will run for termination. So when value will be greater than n, then it will terminate. So it is running for n plus 1 time. Inside this loop, this will run for n and 1. So if we calculate all the steps, we get 2n plus 4. So Fn is a function in terms of input size of total number of steps that are executed. Total number of steps that are executed. Now what is Gn? Gn is a upper bound. We have already discussed big O notation provides us upper bound. So Gn is basically a upper bound for this function. How to decide the upper bound? So let's see an example. So how do we write it? Given functions Fn and Gn. Fn is equal to big O of Gn. Then Gn is sub functions such that yes,
Sir,
yes,
is it possible to pin your screen?
possible to
Sir, pin your screen because so many times pictures of other students came to front of screen.
okay. Just wait. Is this clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so note down this. Just right now, sorry, given asymptotically, non-negative functions fn and gn, fn is equal to order of gn, then gn is set of functions such that order of gn is equal to order of gn is equal to fn such that there exist positive constants, positive to hi gaya, there exist constant cn and not c1 0 and not greater than equal to 1, 0 less than fn less than equal to gn for all n greater than equal to n naught. Noted?
Yes, sir.
Everybody has noted?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's see once more the figure that I have drawn before. So this was the input basically. Okay. So now when we are talking about n naught, what does it mean? It means that after a particular input size, suppose we have an algorithm and we calculated the total number of steps, suppose total number of steps came, fn is equal to 3n plus 2. Okay, for example, and suppose gn is given is equal to n. So what does the complete definition mean? Complete definition means that after a particular input size, like for example, input size can be 4, input size can be 5, input size can be 2. So after a particular input size, if I multiply a constant with, gn, then this value will always be greater than or equal to fn. Okay, after a particular input size, if I multiply gn with a constant, now constant we will decide what will be the constant. If I multiply gn with a constant, then after a particular input size, for every input, gn will always be greater than f. Get it? Suppose for input size 1, gn is smaller. Suppose for input size 2, gn is smaller. Suppose for input size 3, gn is smaller. But suppose for input size 4, gn is greater. For 5 also it is greater. Then for 6 also it is greater. Then starting from input size 4 up to any input size, gn is always greater. Then we say that fn is order of gn. Then we say that fn is order of gn, or gn is providing upper bound to n. So you can write down big O notation provides upper bound to the algorithm. This statement you can write down. Big O notation provides upper bound to the algorithm. So now let's see an example. So suppose fn is equal to 3n plus 2 and gn is equal to n, is fn is equal to order of Gn. So this is the question. So Fn value is given, Gn value is given. You can note down this question. Fn value is given. This we have to quote as an example for definition. Okay, this is example. So Fn is given. We have to check whether Fn is equal to order of Gn. So what we have to do to check that Fn is equal to order of Gn? We have to find a constant C and an input size N0. What we have to do? We have to find constant C and input size N0. So this we have to find. Okay. So let's start. So we have 3n plus 2 and we have n. Suppose I am taking constant is equal to 1 and input size is also equal to 1 and not also equal to 1. And we are checking 3 plus 2 is less than equal to C into Gn. C into n, but Gn is equal to n. So n value is 1. So when we put 1 here, we get 5 less than equal to 1. So this condition is false. Okay. So again we take input size equal to 2 and not equal to 1. Let's check. So we have now 8 less than equal to 2. False. Suppose constant is equal to 2. Suppose n not is equal to 2 we are taking. So this is 8 less than equal to 4. Again false. Suppose this was 5. Suppose I am taking C is equal to 2 and not is equal to, for example, suppose I am taking 5. Now again, if I put here, so 15 plus 2, 17 less than equal to 2 into 5, 10, again false. Okay. So now suppose I am taking C is equal to 4 and not is equal to 1. Let's check. So it's 5 less than equal to 4. Again false. C is equal to 4 and not is equal to 2. So 8 less than equal to 8. So this condition is true. Now we'll check for C is equal to 4 and not is equal to 3. So 9 plus 2, 11 less than equal to 4 into 3, 12. Again condition is true. Randomly we'll check C is equal to 4 and not is equal to 10. So we have 32 less than equal to 40. Again condition is true. Okay. So we can say that for C is equal to 4 and n greater than equal to Fn is always less than equal to C into Gn. Therefore, Fn is equal to order of Gn. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So see, it only depends upon practice. The numerical you will practice, you will be able to guess a good constant. Like for example, if you see here, this is 3. 3 is multiplying into n. So obviously we need a constant greater than 3. So 4 was
Yes,
there.
sir.
Okay. So if constant we are taking for an input size we are taking 2 or greater, then this condition is always satisfied. Okay, then this condition is always satisfying. Always satisfying. Okay, so we can say that Fn is less than equal to C into Gn, and therefore Fn is equal to order of Gn. So I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes? Okay. So you
Yes,
can
sir.
note down this quickly. Quickly note down this. Just wait, let me set the screen so that screen is visible. Okay. Question you have noted before, I hope.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Done?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All of you have written?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Okay. So now second asymptotic notation that we are going to study is big omega, represented by this thing. Okay. So big omega will be studying it represented by this sign. So note down, big omega provides lower bound. Okay. Big omega provides asymptotic lower bound. Full stop. For a given function, gn, for a given function gn, for a given function gn, comma, omega of gn, omega of gn is the set of function, is the set of function set is the set of function such that omega of gn equal to fn such that there exist positive constants and n naught c greater than 0, n naught greater than equal to 1, then n naught such that 0 less than equal to c into gn less than equal to fn for all n greater than equal to n naught. So this is the definition. So omega notation is lower bound. Okay. And again we have two positive constants, c greater than 0 and not greater than equal to 1, such that o less than equal to c into gn less than equal to fn. And the graph is done.
yes, sir.
Okay. So what it says that for a value for a particular input size, this function gn, if we multiply by c, will be always less than fn. Will be always less than fn. So fn is again total number of steps executed by the algorithm, and we are trying to find the lower bound. So in case of lower bound, gn into c will be always less than fn. In case of upper bound, gn into c was always greater than fn. So this is the difference. So again, let's see an example. Same example we are taking. We'll see whether it's omega of Gn or not. So is Fn equal to omega of Gn. Okay. So again we have to find Cn and naught. So we have Fn 3n plus 2 and we have Gn which is n C into Gn. So let C is equal to 1 and naught is equal to 1. Okay. So here C is equal to 5, here less than equal to 1. So condition is true. C is equal to 1 and naught is equal to 2. So here it is 8 less than equal to 2. Again condition is true. Okay. Randomly we are taking C is equal to 1 and naught is equal to suppose 50. So it is 152 less than equal to 15, condition is true. Okay. So therefore for C is equal to 1 and n greater than equal to 1, Fn is, or we can write C into Gn is always less than equal to Fn. Okay. Therefore we can say that Fn is equal to omega of Gn. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So note down this example quickly. Written?
Yes, sir.
All of you have written?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And next, we are going to study the theta notation. Okay. So write down for theta notation. For a given function Gn, for a given function Gn, comma, theta of Gn, for a given function Gn, comma, theta of Gn, the set of functions is the set of functions theta Gn is equal to Fn such that there exists positive constants C1 comma C2 comma N naught, C1 greater than 0, C2 greater than 0, and not greater than equal to 1, such that 0 less than equal to C1 into Gn less than equal to Fn less than equal to C2 into Gn for all n greater than equal to n. So notice in the graph draw this also.
Sir,
Yes,
what you wrote down in last line?
last line means here.
No, sir, upper.
Yeah,
Before n, yes, sir.
for all
Okay, sir, okay. Okay.
n greater than equal to n naught. This is n naught again. So if you see there carefully, this function is crossing here. This function is crossing at this point, and this upper function is crossing at this point. So this point we have taken, because after this point, this is greater and this is always lower. I have not taken this point. So remember this thing. It's a straight line. Done?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's again see an example. So theta is used to represent the average case time complexity. So write down theta notation provides both lower bound and upper bound to the function. Theta notation provides both asymptotically lower bound and asymptotic upper bound to the function. Now an example. So remember one thing. Yes.
Sir, and some unknown person are added in meeting.
Who is that unknown person? Let me see. I think every roll number is there.
No, sir. Sir, last में ये 130025 sir. Sir, name
190.
mention नहीं.
Who is this 30025?
So this person is not my class, sir. Sir,
And how did you got the
sir,
meeting ID? Okay, let me remove him. Okay. So let's see an example of this also. So again, we are taking the same example. So first of all, remember one thing. What you have to remember is that if Fn is equal to order of Gn and if and only if Fn is equal to order of Gn and Fn equal to omega of Gn, then Fn is equal to theta of G. This is very important. Why? Theta is providing both lower bound and both upper bound also. It is providing lower bound also, it is providing upper bound also. So if Fn is equal to omega of Gn and Fn is equal to theta of Gn, if both conditions are satisfied, then automatically it is equal to theta of Gn. So we have seen mostly that in this case, Fn is also order of big O of Gn and Fn is also omega of Gn. Therefore, Fn is equal to theta of Gn. Okay. So this is very important. So now what we have to do? We have to prove first Fn is equal to order of Gn. So Fn is 3n plus 2 and Gn is n. So it must be less than equal to C into n. C is equal to 4 and not is equal to 2. We have already seen that. So it is, 8 less than equal to 8. Condition is 2. And randomly we'll check 4 and not is equal to say 25. So 77 less than equal to 100. Again, condition is 2. Therefore, for C is equal to 4 and not is equal to 2, Fn is equal to order of Gn. And here we will prove Fn is equal to big omega of Gn. So let C is equal to 1. Let C is equal to 1 and not is equal to 1. So we have 3n plus 2 always greater than equal to C into Gn. So if you put the values here, we'll get 5 greater than equal to 1. Let C is equal to 1 and not is equal to 25 randomly. So we have 77, which is always greater than equal to 25. Condition is 2 here also, here also. Therefore, for C is equal to 1 and not is equal to 1, Fn is equal to omega of Gn. Okay? Yes. So since Fn is equal to big O of Gn and Fn is equal to omega of Gn, okay? Therefore, Fn is equal to theta of. So I hope this is clear.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Note down this. Written?
Yes, sir.
All of you have done?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
this mode of teaching is more effective or
Yes, sir.
this
Yes,
is more
sir.
effective?
Effective. Very
Yes,
effective.
sir. Very effective, sir.
Okay. So we'll go in this mode only, okay? For entire lectures, we'll study in classroom, so it will give you feel also that you are in college. Is it okay? Vibha? Vibha is here? Shruti?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Aman? Akash? Fine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so we'll meet tomorrow. So meeting ID will remain same. You will join using the same meeting ID. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.